Right, good evening members, officers, members of the public. Welcome to this extraordinary Cabinet meeting. Fire alarm procedures. If the fire alarm is activated, vacate the officers via the stairs. Please do not use the lifts. Assemble in Hawley Square on the green. Officers will assist you and advise when it's deemed safe to return to the chamber. Please switch off or turn to silent your mobile phones and do not make or receive calls while the meeting is in progress. Please note this meeting is being live streamed for members of the public. The meeting will also be recorded and subsequently made available on the internet. Does anyone intend to film the meeting? Right, the following members have asked to speak under Council Procedure Rule 20.1. Item 4, Councillor Bayford. Are there any other members requesting to speak? Councillor Cupp, I suspect you want to speak on item 3, don't you?
Do you know what, Leader? You're absolutely right. Could I speak under agenda item 3, please? Thank you.
Sure we can accommodate you. Right, apologies. I have apologies from Councillor Whitehead and Councillor Yates. There can't be any more apologies because that's the rest of the Cabinet. Item 2. Does anyone have any interest to declare on the items of business on the agenda this evening? No. Thank you. Item 3 is the Birchington Draft Neighbourhood Plan, which is for me to introduce. Under the Localism Act 2011, neighbourhood plans can be prepared by local communities and are led by town or parish councils or a neighbourhood forum in areas which do not have a town or parish council. If Thanet Council adopts a neighbourhood plan, it will have the same significance as other development plan documents, for example the local plan for the district. Birchington Parish Council has prepared a draft neighbourhood plan. It was published and formally submitted to the Council and has subsequently been assessed by an independent examiner. The examiner's report has also been published. It supports the proposed neighbourhood plan with some minor modifications and recommends that it be subject to a referendum. The Council now has to issue a decision statement as to whether or not it accepts the recommendations in the examiner's report, and if not, what actions will be necessary. Council also has to consider whether the draft plan meets the basic conditions for a neighbourhood plan. The report before Cabinet sets out relevant issues in the examiner's report for Cabinet's decision, which will also form the basis of the decision statement. The draft neighbourhood plan is generally supported, it has been positively prepared and includes policies that generally conform with the adopted local plan. It's encouraging to see that the parish council has included policies which, although too detailed or too specific for the local plan, do generally support the delivery of the local plan and have a good evidence base. I therefore propose the recommendations as set out in the report. That is, that the Birchington neighbourhood plan be modified with the modifications set out in the examiner's report, Annex 1, and that the Council issues a decision statement that the plan should proceed to referendum. Do I have a seconder, please? Councillor, I'm going to give that to Councillor Keane on the basis that's, yeah, previous meetings, yeah, thank you. Councillor Cupp.
Thank you, Leader. And I know I speak on behalf of all of my fellow Birchington District Councillors when I say it is very encouraging that we are seeing this come to Cabinet. I know how frustrating it's been for the parish to have such delays, but it is incredibly positive that we're here this evening. I think it's very important that we are doing everything we can to encourage our towns and villages to have such policies in place to ensure that we don't lose our identities of those towns and villages. And these neighbourhood plans are vital to ensure that when developments go ahead, that they are in line with what the village or town want. And I would just like to also say thank you to the team at the Parish Council for their hard work in getting this all together. I know how much time and effort has been put into getting everything together and how patient they've had to be as well. So I hope this evening that Cabinet support the recommendation for the good of Birchington. Thank you, Chair.
I don't think there was a question in there, but thank you for your comments. Members, any discussion? Councillor Alban.
Yeah, it's just a question, please, Leader, for Mr. Verrill, if he would be so kind. I think sometimes our residents get confused in relation to a neighbourhood plan when it's concerning dealing with the planning application, and I know that the neighbourhood plans are weighted, but I'd just like to know how high they're weighted. So is it low, medium, or high, or somewhere in between any of those, and how that affects a planning application in conjunction with the local plan? Thank you.
Mr Verrill.
Yes, thank you. Neighbourhood plans are given the same weight as the local plans. So when case officers are looking at policies that affect a particular development, they will look at both local plan policies and neighbourhood plan policies at the same time.
Thank you. So, members, Cabinet's been asked to agree that the draft neighbourhood plan be modified as set out in the report, and that the Council issues a decision statement that it accepts the recommendation in the examiner's report, and the draft neighbourhood plan can proceed to referendum. Do members agree? Agree. Thank you. Item 4, which is the Broadstairs and St Peters neighbourhood plan. This was made in May 2021. Since then, Broadstairs and St Peters Town Council have been reviewing the plan. The process for a neighbourhood plan review depends on the significance of the changes being made as set out in the National Planning Policy Guidance. In this case, the changes were considered to be significant enough to change the nature of the plan and therefore require an examination and referendum. The changes include updated objectives, 3 new policies and the introduction of a design code. The plan review was published and formally submitted to the Council and has subsequently been assessed by an independent examiner. The examiner's report has also been published. It supports the proposed neighbourhood plan with some minor modifications and recommends that it be subject to a referendum. The Council now has to issue a decision statement as to whether or not it accepts the recommendation in the examiner's report, and if not, what actions will be necessary. The Council also has to consider whether the draft plan review meets the basic conditions for a neighbourhood plan. Report before Cabinet sets out relevant issues in the examiner's report for Cabinet's decision, which will also form the basis of the decision statement. The draft neighbourhood plan is generally supported. If I didn't scroll the wrong way. Draft neighbourhood plan is generally supported. It's been positively prepared and has been brought up to date on a number of issues, including climate change and social changes as a result of the pandemic. I therefore propose the recommendations as set out in the report, that is, the Broadstairs and St Peters neighbourhood plan review be modified with the modifications set out in the examiner's report, Annex 1, and that the Council issues a decision statement that the plan should proceed to referendum. Is there a seconder, please? I'll give that one to Councillor Duckworth. Thank you. Councillor Bayford, you want to speak on it?
Thank you, Leader. Again, not a question, but having served on the Broadstairs and St Peters Neighbourhood Plan Subcommittee, I'm aware of the huge amount of targeted work that has been undertaken in order to produce the second edition neighbourhood plan. I thank all those concerned for this. The plan takes account of major world changes relating to slowing climate change, reducing carbon emissions and the rapid social changes resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic. It has also been amended to address issues raised through consultation and the proposed modifications recommended by the examiner. I hope that tonight it is agreed for the plan to proceed to referendum. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bayford. Members, any comments? Okay, so members are asked to agree that the draft neighbourhood plan review be modified as set out in the report, and that the Council issues a decision statement that it accepts the recommendations in the examiner's report and the draft neighbourhood plan can proceed to referendum. Do members agree? Agree. Thank you. That concludes the business for tonight's meeting, and I declare the meeting closed at 7:10. Live stream of the meeting will now end. Thank you for your attendance.